Hi, I'm Dusty Ann. I'm a physical therapist specializing in pelvic floor dysfunction, and I'm also a Kripalu yoga teacher. I created this video because many of my clients wanted a resource for home to augment their treatment in the office. This program is designed specifically for men and women who are dealing with pelvic pain. There is a focus on breath work, conscious relaxation of the pelvic floor muscles, and lengthening of muscle groups that are frequently tight for people healing pelvic pain. My goal with all of my patients is for them to become independent with their home program. This is a great tool to use both during rehab and for maintenance. I hope you find this video helpful, and I wish you all the best on your journey. Let's begin by centering ourselves. Come to a comfortable seated position. Notice your energy. Notice your breath. Feel yourself landing in the present moment. If you wish, create an intention for your practice today. We'll begin with 2 essential breathing patterns. The first, the 3-part breath. Inhale, belly expands, ribcage expands, collarbone lifts, and exhale. And inhale, belly expands, pelvic floor expands down as your belly expands. And release. Great. Adding the Ujjayi breath on top, the Darth Vader breath. Inhale. And exhale. Great. One more time. Inhale. Try to keep this breath up through the whole practice. And exhale. Good. Bring your ear to your shoulder. And up. Take any variation of this that you like. The key is to move however your body wants you to move while you're breathing. Beautiful. Tuck your chin to your chest. Release the spine back. And inhale, arching forward. And tucking the chin. And inhale. Great. Now take your hands to your side for seated sun breaths. Inhale, bring the arms up overhead, reaching towards the sky. And exhale down. Inhale up. And exhale down. Let's take one more. Inhale. This time, keep the hands up and climb an imaginary rope so you're lengthening through the side of the waist. Great. And relax. Now bring the arms behind you and bring your feet out in front of you, feet wide, knees bent. And we're gently going to bring the knees from side to side. So take small movements at first, nice and slowly. If anything is uncomfortable, just modify by taking a smaller range of motion. And the next time your knees come to the right, keep coming, follow forward with your torso, bring your forearms down, and take a breath there. Nice release for the low back here. Beautiful, and coming back up. And before we go to the other side, just take a couple knee bends side to side. Great. And you may need to widen your stance when you come back. And we'll take the knees to the left, bending forward, and releasing. Feel your sacrum lengthening, that triangular bone in the back. Feel the lengthening down. Pelvic floor muscles are releasing down towards the floor. And you can roll up through the spine to come back up. We'll raise the left arm up towards the ceiling for a little extra stretch here. If this is easy, take a further side bend to the right, stretching out the left waist. That's beautiful. Great. And we'll come up into a table position. Perfect. Preparing for cat dog. So tilt the pelvis under, looking at the navel, and exhale, releasing forward. So you want to have a soft elbow here. Perfect. Exhale, looking at the navel. The pelvis gets a great stretch here. One more time. Great. Now from this dog tilt, you're going to keep this tilt in the spine. You're going to press your sits bones back towards the corner of the room and come into a down dog. The most important thing here is for you to keep your back flat, which might mean that your knees are bent, which is perfectly acceptable. Great. There's a nice outward rotation through the arms. Like I said, the sit bones are shining up towards the corner, and the heels are trying to press towards the ground. And pedal your feet back and forth. Great. Okay, bring that movement to a close. And lift your right leg up, extending out. And flex and point the foot. You should feel a little bit of an increased stretch when you flex the foot. Great, and switch legs. You should have a full contact of your hand here. It shouldn't be just this part of your hand, it should be the full hand. Pressing out, soft elbows, shoulder blades going down the back. And bring that foot back down. To transition out of downward dog, we'll come into a plank position, so your hands and your feet stay where they are, your body comes forward. Lift your right leg up, bring your knee forward into table position, and perfect. And we'll rest in child's pose. Child's pose is a great rest position. You can always come here at any point during your practice. So there are a couple of variations you can do in child's. You can stack your fists on top of each other, put your forehead on top of your fists. It's a great release for the sacrum. You can also bring your arms from side to side. So why don't you show the right side, Mark? He's getting a great stretch through his lats on the left there. Switch to the other side. Perfect. And come back to center. One more breath here. Great. And now come into a comfortable seated position for Kapalabhati. Great. So breath of fire, here we go. Inhale. And short exhales through the nose. See how his diaphragm is contracting with each exhale. It's a gentle contraction followed by a passive inhalation. Beautiful. And exhale fully, fold forward. Exhale all of the air out. Inhaling, roll up. Hold your breath. let it go. Beautiful. And let's move into tabletop position. From this position, take your hips gently from side to side, stretching out the hip capsule. Great, and come up into a plank prep. So tuck your toes underneath you and lift up your knees 1 inch off of the floor. Hold that position. This is a great time to think about your neck positioning. Just as Mark is, nice and long, chin is slightly tucked. Abdominals are tight. And walk your hands back towards your feet and roll up. Good. And we'll come into bottoms up. Good, he already knows what we're doing. Come into a football stance. And dive forward. And come on up. And dive forward. Perfect. 5-pointed star, face me. Energy is out of the fingertips. Perfect. This is a great place to be. If you'd like to make any adjustments, you can wiggle your hips around, do little hip circles. You can bend from side to side. Great, and we'll go into a twist. So I'll grab you a block. And this is a great way to work on rotation through the thoracic spine. So open up one hand and you can follow your gaze with it. Perfect. And it's important to breathe here as well. Nice, steady Ujjayi breath. Great. The sits bones are opening, the pelvic floor muscles are expanding and relaxing. Great, and I'll take that block. And come into goddess pose. And tuck one shoulder forward, followed by the other one. Feel the heels sinking down into the floor. Great. And come back up into 5-pointed star again. We'll go into our extended angle. So bring your foot forward, bend your knee, and side bend over and back. The back knee should be straight. There should be energy through the outside of the foot. Good. And passing through the center, switching to the other side. And you can see that his knee is pointing right over his second toe. Perfect alignment. You want to make sure that your knee doesn't come too far forward. One more. Great, and come forward for lunges. Here you go. So we're going to take one of my favorite stretches, which is a lunge with a block. So bring one foot forward, press the tailbone under, forward, perfect. Lifting the chest. So you're getting a great stretch in through the hip flexor. Great. And keeping the back flat, bring the hips back, straightening the front leg, and walk your blocks with you. Now Mark happens to be very flexible and he can get a great flat back here. His knee is straight. Please feel free to bend your knee if your hamstrings are tight or you're getting any pulling in the back. You can also modify this by turning the foot in and out, which feels nice. It gets both parts of the hamstrings. And come back forward again, walking your blocks forward. And make sure you're connecting with your breath here. And walk your blocks back. Be aware of any tension you're holding in the body. Make sure your jaw is relaxed, your face is relaxed. Great, and come forward again and we'll switch to the other side. Great, opening up through the chest, opening the pecs. And remember, every time you're taking a deep breath in through diaphragm, your pelvic floor is also releasing down. Keeping your back flat, knee straight, or knee bent, depending on who you are. And last time, forward, connecting with your breath. Feeling the line of energy through the top of the head. And he's tucking under so he can get an even bigger stretch through the hip flexor. And walk your blocks back. Great. So I'll take those blocks for you. And you can come into a comfortable seated position, and we'll finish with Nadi Shodhana. So come into that Vishnu Mudra. Thumb on the right nostril. Exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. And switch. Exhale. Inhale. And switch. And Mark will continue in his own time. Please do be aware that you can do this at your own pace. You don't have to follow along with us. Whatever's comfortable for you. And he'll do a couple more rounds preparing for Shavasana. Great. Good. So preparation for Shavasana, grab any blankets, pillows, straps that you might want to use, and come onto your back. And we'll be here for 5 minutes and just enjoy the quiet. Imagine a ball of golden light is hovering at your feet. Allow this ball of light to encourage your muscles to release as we scan through the body. The light enters into both feet. Feel your toes relax. Your calves relax. Let your knees be soft. The light spirals up the front and back of your thighs.